House Varn, Internal Operations Command. Field debrief. Spec Ops Unit Cerberus. Site 9 incident. Clearance, Onyx. Blood Eyes only. Author, Operative L. Wren. Serial V0421. Date, January 8, 2026. Subject, Extraction Failure, P0 Persistence. Attached to Division of Recovery and Containment, DRC. Mission Parameters. Objective Alpha, secure biological asset P0 prior to detonation of Darby D failsafe device Ion Cloud. Objective Bravo, eliminate remaining Darby D personnel and recover Marcos Keller research data. Objective Charlie, initiate controlled demolition if Alpha Bravo deemed unrecoverable. Overview. Insertion via polar subcorridor H3 achieved at 0128 UTC, January 1st, 2026. Thermal anomalies immediate. Ambient temperature at minus 33 degrees Celsius, despite total power failure. Audio contamination began within 5 minutes. Intermittent whispers in comms not matching any channel encryption. We discovered multiple deceased while navigating the facility. Apparent exsanguination and cold-related injuries. Expressions of wide-eyed terror were frozen on all of their faces. Vault Theta 1 doors were open from inside, cryomist venting in pulses like respiration. We found Keller in a containment corridor, partially conscious, eyes open but unseeing. He kept repeating, "She's learning the shape of thought." Encounter. At 0231 we entered Chamber Theta 1. Containment Pod 7 was empty. Frost on inner glass melted outward. Thermal inversion. Heart rate monitors registered faint sync with ours, though pod offline. Lieutenant Koval advanced for sample retrieval. Camera feed white flashed, then all 5 biosigns spiked simultaneously. Through the frost haze I observed a female silhouette, motionless, skin pale with blue vascularity. The eyes appeared to be white. She didn't speak. She thought into us. Every operative received the same phrase telepathically, recorded through EEG neural uplinks. "You came to take me back, but I was never yours to hold." Pain surged behind the eyes, hemorrhage pressure. Koval fired. Rounds disintegrated mid-air, reduced to dust. Temperature rose 10 degrees in 3 seconds. Command transmitted abort. I armed the Ion Cloud device manually. She looked at me then. No movement, yet every nerve screamed the intent of movement. She was inside the thought before the action. Detonation event. Timestamp 0246 UTC. Light saturation total. Shockwave should have vaporized all matter in a 400-meter radius. Instead, blast telemetry shows negative core temperature. Central zone colder than periphery. During extraction blackout, I experienced final cognitive imprint. You can burn the walls, not the pattern. Post-event condition. Recovered 48 hours later by House Varn search detail north of blast site. Medical scan. Elevated heme density, mitochondrial replication factor times 7, intermittent telemetry showing pattern R echo expression. Since recovery, I experienced persistent auditory bleeding. P0's voice at subthreshold volume, repeating coordinates that change nightly. Personal analysis. P0 survived. She occupies both vector and vessel. Every new residence event matches the rhythm of her voice patterns. If she can awaken dormant sequences at distance, we are not hunting a fugitive. We are standing inside her expanding consciousness. Recommend suspension of standard containment doctrine. Recommend silence. The more we speak her designation, the stronger the echo becomes. Closing statement. We lit the sun beneath the ice and thought it would kill the dark. It only taught the dark to listen. Operative L. Wren, V0421, filed under Level Omega, pale convergence continuing. Classified Dossier, Level Omega. Defense Applied Recombination Biology Division, Darby D. Joint Analytic Brief, Pattern Resonance Events, PREs. Date, March 3rd, 2026. Authors, Dr. E. Varos, House Varn Intelligence, Dr. C. Holt, Darby D. Remnant Biology Wing. Status, Continuing, Unresolved Anomalies. Executive Overview. The collapse of Site-9 marked the transition from localized genetic aberration to global resonance contagion. Within 72 hours of detonation, simultaneous biogenic signal fluctuations were recorded in at least 12 nations. It is now confirmed that each event corresponds to a momentary projection from P0's consciousness, catalyzing dormant Atavus DNA sequences and eliciting identical neurosomatic responses in microweave-positive populations. Darby D has reclassified these incidents from isolated biohazards to Class A cognitive genomic phenomena. Classification matrix. Pre-alpha, auditory. Designated whisper harmonics, presents with a signature of 7.3 Hz plus or minus 0.02, lasting from 3 to 7 minutes. Manifests as subaural female voice perceived internally. Identical phrase sets across continents. Pre-beta, physiological. Designated blood bloom, presents with a signature of 13 to 15 Hz for 10 to 20 minutes. Manifests as elevated heme density, retinal luminescence, short-term anhidrosis, as well as spontaneous craving for iron-rich substrates. Pre-gamma, spatial, designated bleed moment. Signature is nonlinear and no longer than 60 seconds. Local temperature inverts. There is visual distortion, including shadow duplication and photonic lag. Pre-delta, cognitive, designated dream convergence. Signature is variable and occurs for up to 3 hours during the sleep state. Subjects report shared lucid dream environments featuring ice, breath, and a female silhouette. Pre-omega, coalescent, designated echo pulse. Continuous composite signature, manifests as global microweave synchronization, theorized as P0's full-band broadcast pattern. Notable recorded events. 1. The Thessaloniki Cascade, pre-alpha beta. Date, January 22nd, 2026. At 02:14 UTC, 11,400 residents within the Northern District experienced spontaneous nosebleeds followed by intense euphoria. Spectro-EM analysis revealed a 7.3 Hz harmonic spike identical to Site-9 residual frequencies. Audio recorders captured a female whisper overlapping emergency broadcasts. The blood remembers. 2. The Buenos Aires phenomenon. Pre-gamma delta. Date, February 3rd, 2026. During a citywide blackout, civilians reported mirrorless reflections. Thermal drones documented human silhouettes visible only in infrared, arranged in a circular pattern around the old Darby D consulate. Subsequent microwave field scans show genome activation in latent carriers within a 1-kilometer radius. 3. The Hudson Bay manifestation. Pre-omega prototype. Date, February 9th, 2026. Observation satellites recorded a humanoid figure walking across the frozen bay at sunrise. Spectral readings confirmed heat emissions 6 degrees Celsius above ambient, surrounded by a faint auroral halo. When approached by drone, all telemetry ceased. Upon reactivation, the drone's onboard AI produced a spontaneous log entry. Signal origin authenticated. P0 alive. 4. The Kyoto Synchrony. Pre-delta. Date, February 24th, 2026. Microwave terminals in Asia Minor and East Asia began outputting identical dream transcripts from sleeping operators. All subjects described an identical moment. We stood beneath the ice ceiling. She breathed, and the world turned blue. Genomic samples taken upon waking exhibited temporary R-pattern microexpression. Analysis. 1. Conscious transmission. PREs demonstrate coordination and sequencing too deliberate for natural resonance. P0 is exhibiting cognitive selectivity, choosing activation zones based on pre-existing Atavus density. 2. Energetic economy. Events require no apparent energy input beyond environmental electromagnetic flux. Suggests she draws from planetary geomagnetic fields as amplifiers. 3. Psychic contagion threshold. Individuals exposed to more than 3 PREs display partial telepathic linkage. Clusters now exhibit synchronized heart rates across distance. House-Varn addendum. The resonance is not a message, it's a rehearsal. She's teaching the genome to sing in unison. Evelyn Varkas, Private Communicated Council, February 28, 2026. Darby D. Countermeasures. Microwave Firewall Protocol, Glass Vein, initiated. Designed to randomize signal reception across the 5 to 8 Hz band. Cognitive Silence Directive. All personnel ordered to avoid vocalizing P0 designation. Refer to as the mother only in encrypted text. Containment focus shift. Abandon physical pursuit. Prioritize psychic dampening field generators around remaining sites 1 through 4. Forecast. Pattern models predict global PRE density to double every 21 days. If resonance curve remains exponential, complete Atavus genomic reignition, aka pale convergence event horizon, PC01, expected by late 2026. Darby D. Field Log, Operator Perspective, Project Glass Vein, Site 12, Level Omega, Active Experimental Containment Zone, Date, April 9th, 2026. Author, Operative N. Halberd, Field Engineer, Microwave Calibration Team. Assignment, Initial Deployment Test of Glass Vein Network Array. 0 hour, Arrival. Insertion via VTOL at 0432 local. Site 12 is built over the ruins of an abandoned weather station in Greenland sector. The ice shelf still hums faintly beneath the wind, a resonance that instruments call background noise. Our mission: deploy and synchronize 8 glass vein towers around the perimeter, forming a hemispheric dampening lattice. The theory is simple: a rotating 5 to 8 Hz randomized signal pattern to disrupt P0 psychic frequency. The practice feels wrong. The air itself resists alignment. 1 hour, 7 minutes, 15 seconds. Initial calibration. Array node 1 stabilized. The hum lowered in pitch. Static cleared. For the first time in months, the neural field feels quiet. Dr. Holt on command channel. If she's listening, she'll hear nothing now. 57 seconds later, the sky flickered. Not lightning, but the aurora compressing into vertical threads. Each beam perfectly aligned with the towers. The instruments labeled it positive response. The personnel called it breathing. 2 hours, 33 minutes, 48 seconds. Anomalous feedback. Tower 5 began looping telemetry. 7.3 Hz reintroduced itself, the exact frequency Glass Vein was designed to suppress. EM shielding held for 18 seconds before the static in our comms became structured, rhythmic. Voice analysis matched archived P0 sample to 94.8%. Phrase repeated 12 times. You built my silence out of my own blood. My nose started bleeding. I don't remember taking the headset off. 3 hours, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Field disruption. We attempted a hard reboot on all towers simultaneously. Instead of cycling down, they harmonized. Visual distortion across the camp. Shadows split from their sources, lagging by half a second. The ice beneath Tower 3 fractured in a perfect circle 11 meters wide. Light rose upward from the crack, not down. Operator Venn collapsed. His eyes mirrored the aurora color, deep cyan fading to white. He was breathing in rhythm with the hum. 3 hours, 19 minutes, 42 seconds. Direct contact. Every monitor on site displayed the same line of text. You cannot cage a frequency you were born from. Then, silence. No radio, no wind, no heartbeat in the biosensors. The stillness lasted exactly 6 minutes, 39 seconds. When it ended, all 8 towers were dark, but the hum persisted, faint, steady, matching human pulse at 72 beats per minute. I think it's mine. 4 hours, 15 minutes. Extraction. Recovery chopper retrieved surviving personnel. 3 of 7 exhibited spontaneous pattern R micro-expression within 24 hours. My own readings fluctuate. There's something under the skin that wasn't there before. A vibration when I sleep, like someone tapping Morse through bone. Darby D. Command classified Site 12 as unsalvageable. Glass vein deemed a psychogenic failure. The lattice didn't block P0. It amplified her, like mirrors arranged in a circle. Closing note, she was waiting for us to listen to our own silence. End of report. Operative N. Halberd, Field Log 3, Project Glass Vein. Status, contaminated but functional. Requesting isolation clearance.